We have the steering assembly out of a Kubota B6000, and there is quite a bit of play in it. So it'll move about a whole revolution before it actually starts turning. So the previous owner knew a buddy that could weld, apparently, because, well, yeah. So I gotta cut the steering wheel off. That way I can pull this assembly off to get in here, which was full of water, so I gotta properly seal it up. But there's no shims on the worm, no shims here, so you can pull it back and forth there. So I'm gonna throw in some shims, and hopefully it'll get rid of its play. So let's cut her off and see how it goes. That is how not to weld a steering wheel on. So, by cutting the shaft, I was able to slide this collar off, and then I was able to twist the actual shaft out. So the problem is, someone else has been in here previously, and the shaft broke, so they welded it and extended it. A decent job there, it's straight, but this bearing now can't slide past here, and causes I need to shim here, so that way the bearing has something to push up against on the inside, because right now it's moving back and forth here. So grind this down. I got myself some copper washers. There originally was a bearing inside. Flashlight. I don't know if you can see it or not. There's a bearing race. And on the tip of the shaft, there's also a bearing race. But I cannot get this off. So what I'm going to do, stick it inside for now. It sits in the bottom nicely. Stick my copper washers on top. And I can stick this bearing in on there. Lightly tap it in place. Now that I know it's not going anywhere, I can seal this back up. Okay, I put some silicone on there. I cleaned up both sides of the mounting flange. Unfortunately, someone's been in here and decided to grind the hell out of this. I don't have access to a mill, so it's just the way it's going to be, I guess. So, here we go. there I went and stuck that on. I'm going to weld an extension on here. So I'm going to take this rubber back off, weld an extension on, grind it smooth. Probably should have done that before I put it together, but oh well. I stuffed an O-ring in there, and then I put the rubber collar back in. It's not exactly 100% watertight, but it's better than what it was. I'll probably end up putting a washer and another O-ring underneath, and then just hose clamping the washer on. I don't know. I'm going to put some grease in here and put it back on the tractor. Okay, let's put this back in place. We've got just a little bit more play in the steering wheel. See how it moves a quarter turn before it starts moving, and see how the worm gear, or not the worm gear, but the other end of the worm gear moves in and out. So what that is this guy here needs to be screwed in a little bit more, but there's a ball bearing in between, which I almost guarantee is fall to the side. So I gotta take the side plate off and then go from there. Oh, never mind, the ball bearing's sitting perfectly. Okay, so carefully screw that back in. And then I can tighten up. There we go. There's pressure on the ball bearing now. I figured the ball bearing would have fallen down, but I was wrong. Adjusting the, see how the knob's coming out now as I turn it? Tighten this all the way. Now I have instant torque transmission. Just wobbling it back and forth and getting the last little bit of tightening out of the adjustment screw. A lot better than what it was before. Perfect. I'm going to fill it up with grease and it should be good to go. What I'm going to do for greasing it is I'm going to install a grease fitting, because before it was just a plug. So this way it's serviceable. That way I can just pump grease in, keep the water out.